Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and today we're taking a look at another figure for the hashtag Hawaii Safari campaign. So Marvin, bring out today's model. Thank you, Marvin. So today, guys, we are going to be taking a look at this. It is the beautiful 2015 Safari Limited Sauropelta. This model actually won Dinosaur Figure of the Year for 2015, so I cannot wait to take a closer look at it. So without further ado, guys, let's start with the review. Before we start taking a closer look at the figure, here are a few quick facts about Sauropelta itself. Sauropelta Edwardsorum means lizard shield. It was a Nodosaurid that lived in the early Cretaceous period of what is now North America. It was a fairly large herbivore, reaching 17 feet long and weighing up to a possible 3,300 pounds. An interesting fact is that Sauropelta had a whopping 40 vertebrae in its tail, compared to the 33 vertebrae in a human spine. The defensive spikes on its shoulders made it appear larger than it was to carnivores looking at it straight on. Sauropelta lived alongside other Cretaceous dinosaurs, including Tenontosaurus, Deinonychus, and Acrocanthosaurus. So without further ado, guys, let's start taking a closer look at this ancient armored herbivore. So we are going to start up at the head, and you can see just how tiny the head is here, but just look at the detail in that sculpt. You can see the eye has been painted in glossy yellow and black colors to give it a reflective look. You can see the nostrils carved out on the front of the skull there, as well as the lovely details around the mouth here. You can also see the shaping of the triangular head that Sauropelta actually had, and it looks really good in the sculpt here. And on the back of the skull, you can see the ear carved out there as well. On the top of the neck here, you can see some really nicely sculpted scales and armor plating there. Those just look great. Here you can see the massive shoulder spine that Sauropelta had. That looks fantastic. I love the silvery gray color transitioning into the black on the tip of the spike there. That looks great. So moving down into the shoulder area, you can see some really fine and really nicely detailed scales there. You can also see some really nice wrinkles in its skin there, and I really like the way the feet are sculpted. You can see the 5 digits there, each tipped with a light gray glossy paint. That looks really good. So moving up into the midsection of the body, you can see some really nice blade-like armor plating on the sides there. I just can't get over how nice those little tiny scales are. Those are absolutely beautiful. On the top of the body, you can see some really nice bumpy scales and armor plating that most Nodosaurids had. Those look really good. And you can see on the front half of the armor plating how it's really rough and bumpy, but it transitions into the back half here, which is more smooth on top. And that's actually in the real skeleton for Sauropelta, which is really cool. So moving down into the back leg, you can see some more really nicely detailed scales there. I really like the wrinkles in the skin as well here, and you can see the back foot there with 4 digits. So moving back up the leg and into the tail, you can see how a second row of this blade-like armor plating comes in. Again, really nicely sculpted tiny scales there. It looks absolutely beautiful. And then moving down to the tip of the tail, you can see how the armor plating gets gradually smaller there. So flipping around to the other side, you can see some more of those blade-like armor plates going up the tail. Moving into the right hind leg, you can see some more nice tiny scales there. Those look great. You can see the really nice toned musculature there and the foot with the 4 digits. So moving up into the midsection, you can see some more really nice armor plating as well as those blade-like armor plates there. Really nice detailing of the skin stretching between the limbs there. That looks really good. Moving down into the right forelimb, I really like the way this one is posed. You can see some more nice toned musculature there and the front foot with the 5 digits. Moving up into the right shoulder area, you can see the other spike there, which is really nicely detailed. I also love these 6 huge spikes on the neck there. Those look absolutely fantastic. And moving up the neck, we meet up with the other side of that beautiful head sculpt that we saw earlier. The painted eye on this side of the head sculpt actually looks more aggressive compared to the other side. And you can see some more little armor plates on the back of the skull there. Those look really good. So in terms of scientific accuracy with this figure, I think it's very well done. Safari Limited, you've done a fantastic job of recreating the Sauropelta. The sculpt is absolutely fantastic, and the lovely color scheme makes it so lifelike. Also, if you compare this figure with the actual skeleton of Sauropelta, you can see that the scales or armor plating on the back here actually match those seen in the skeleton. I think that is really cool. You can definitely tell that the sculptor was paying attention to the latest reconstruction of Sauropelta. So yeah, great job Safari Limited. This definitely deserves Dinosaur Figure of the Year for 2015. So you're probably wondering just how big this figure is, so Marvin, bring out the ruler. Thank you, Marvin. So we have our trusty flexi ruler now, so let's give this Sauropelta a measure. So in terms of the length from the tip of the nose all the way to the tip of the tail, we are looking at 7 inches. And in terms of the height, at the highest point, which is the top of the shoulder spine, we are looking at 2 inches. For comparison, here is the Safari Limited Sauropelta next to another dinosaur from Cretaceous North America. It's the Nodosaurid. If you want to see the review for this figure, link is down below. Now both of these figures are from Safari Limited's 2015 line and they look great next to each other. The detail on both of the sculpts complement each other really nicely, so they look great on display next to each other. Next up for comparison, here is the Safari Limited Sauropelta next to the Safari Limited Postosuchus. We just reviewed this one for the #HawaiiSafari campaign, so if you want to see the review, link is down below. Now both of these creatures are from North America, but Postosuchus lived in the Triassic period, while Sauropelta lived in the Cretaceous period, so they never would have met up. Also, the scale with these two models are a little bit off when they are next to each other, because Sauropelta would have been somewhat larger than a Postosuchus in real life. But that doesn't mean you can't put them on display next to each other with your collection. And finally, for comparison, here's the Safari Limited Sauropelta next to the North American super predator, the Acrocanthosaurus. If you want to see the review for this figure, link is down below. Now, Acrocanthosaurus and Sauropelta actually lived alongside each other, so it is very likely that these two had some confrontations back in the Cretaceous period. I think both of these figures look really nice next to each other. The poses complement each other really nicely. Well, there we go, guys. That was today's look at the beautiful Safari Limited Sauropelta. This model definitely deserves winning Dinosaur Figure of the Year for 2015. It is absolutely fantastic. Safari Limited have done a phenomenal job of recreating this ancient Nodosaurid, and I definitely recommend this figure. So if you guys want to pick this model up, go to www.safarilimited.com. Also check out their other awesome products. Also, if you're interested in learning more about the #HawaiiSafari campaign, check out their Facebook page and other social media. So anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe. Also leave a comment telling me your opinion on this model. So thank you so much guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.